History remembers Rome as the eternal city. It remembers Benin for its bronzes. But it forgets the winter of 1596 when bronze met marble, when Rome's cobblestones echoed with African boots, and when, for the first time in recorded history, witch doctors went to war and actually won. The Kingdom of Benin was no stranger to power. Its earthworks stretched further than the Great Wall of China. Its markets dripped with ivory, pepper, palm oil, and gossip that traveled faster than ships. Its royal guilds carved history into bronze, plaques, heads, bells, art so sharp it could cut your pride. But this was different. The Oba of Benin had been insulted, and insults in Benin are like grenades with the pin pulled. In the summer of 1595, the Oba sent envoys to Lisbon. Mission: lock down trade deals, seal the right to do business without Rome's meddling. Instead, the Portuguese captains seized their gifts, mocked their titles, and threw them out like fishermen chasing goats from a pier. The Pope's backroom boys smiled, and the message was clear: you will trade on our terms or not at all. In our history, maybe that's where it would have ended. But in this history, the Oba summoned his generals, and then he summoned the witch doctors. Yes, the same men who could bless your harvest, curse your neighbor's yam pile, and make a fever vanish with a puff of powder. This time, they would be issued shields and spears. Half priest, half soldier, fully terrifying. The royal foundries roared. Bronze spearheads, bronze-tipped arrows, breastplates so polished you could shave in them. The witch doctors wore the same armor, but with charms dangling from the straps, cowrie shells woven into the edges, and painted masks that made them look like walking bad dreams. They weren't just for show. On the march, they chant curses at the enemy so loud even seagulls changed direction. In battle, they'd wave gourds filled with mystery powder, part chili, part powdered shellfish, part don't ask. Any soldier breathing it got two options: run or sneeze until his helmet fell off. The plan was bold. 5 chartered European ships, dozens of war canoes rigged for the open sea, witch doctors front and center because, according to one captain, no one boards a ship that smells like that. They sailed north, Benin River to Morocco, slipped past the Strait of Gibraltar at dawn, into the Tyrrhenian Sea, where Rome's fishermen were about to have the weirdest morning of their lives. At first light, sails appeared off Civitavecchia. Not Spanish, not Ottoman, and definitely not friendly. On deck, lines of bronze-armored warriors, and behind them, 30 witch doctors in full war paint, shaking rattles, stamping their feet, and throwing powder into the air like they were seasoning the wind. One Italian fisherman swore he heard them singing in Edo. Another swore his hair turned white on the spot, and the third just rode home and pretended to be sick for a week. The landing was surgical. No plunder, no screaming. Just disciplined lines advancing toward Terracina, with witch doctors pacing them like referees at a curse festival. The Papal States panicked. Mercenaries came from the north. Swiss guards doubled their watch. And then came the first clash. Italian cavalry thundered forward. The Benin front line dropped spears, braced shields, and locked together. Behind them, the witch doctors started their battle blessing, a mix of stomps, chants, and powder blasts so thick it looked like the earth itself was exhaling. Horses slowed, riders coughed. One poor captain fell clean off his saddle when a charm landed in his lap. The Italians broke. The Bronze Army didn't chase, they just reformed, shields gleaming, witch doctors grinning like it was a street performance and the crowd had tipped well. By the third day, Rome was on edge. The markets were empty. The grain ships were stopped at the river mouth. The Oba's envoy sent his message: "We did not come to conquer. We came to negotiate. Sign and we go home. Refuse and the witch doctors will stay." No one wanted the witch doctors to stay. On November 15th, 1596, the Treaty of Ostia was signed. Rome recognized Benin's trade sovereignty. They agreed to stop seizing African goods, and a permanent Benin envoy, escorted by 2 witch doctors, would live in Rome as trade advisors. The Vatican never clarified exactly what they advised. The Bronze Army sailed home in order, witch doctors waving at the dockworkers like parade queens. In Europe, they called it an unusual negotiation. In Benin, they carved it into bronze. Plaques of the landing, plaques of the Pope's handshake, plaques of witch doctors standing proudly in the front line, masks on, rattles in hand. It never happened. But if it had, Rome might still be telling the story of the day Africa sent its warriors, its bronzes, and its witch doctors, and went home with Europe's signature in their pocket. This is Ancestria. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more.